not really much for reading, but my friend told me about this book and said it was funny, so I decided to read it. And overall, I thought it was really funny, scientific, really thrilling. And I know that there's a movie about it, but the book has so much more. The movie left out some very big parts, and even the ending's different. The book is about the main character, Mark Watney. He gets stranded on Mars because they need to evacuate because there was a big sandstorm coming. It was one of the most highest recorded speed of wind sandstorm, and so they needed to leave before they got stuck. They would all be stuck there because their getaway ship would have toppled over. So whenever they were leaving, Mark Watney gets hit by a satellite dish, and so it also hits his like life meter thing that like it tells them if they're breathing, and so they all thought he was dead and they left. And it's him surviving with limited materials for a certain amount of time while the whole world doesn't even know he survived. This is a little glimpse of what it's like, the funniness. It's, for the record, I didn't die on Sol 6. Certainly the rest of the crew thought I did, and I can't blame them. Maybe there'll be a day of national mourning for me, and my Wikipedia page will say, Mark Watney is the only human being to have died on Mars. And overall, I just think it's a great book. That's about it.
What's your overall rating of it?
Overall rating, probably a 4.7. That was pretty good. Yeah, 4.7. Yes.
Have you seen the movie?
I have seen the movie, and I definitely recommend the book. It's a lot better. It left out a lot of parts that were just like near-death experiences. Greg?
Mark Watney actually a botanist in the book.
Yes, he is a botanist, and he makes many jokes about that. Yes,
Could you give us an example of one of the scenes not seen in the book?
Yeah, so whenever he was going to the second site to blast off to the ship, there was a big sandstorm in the middle of that he couldn't go through, and if he did, he would have died, and the ship that was taking him would have toppled over. So he had to figure out how to go around it, and also he had to first of all figure out that there was a sandstorm coming, and then he had to figure out how to go around it or through it or all these other problems. And then also on the way there was a hill that his ship, or not ship, the little rover actually toppled over, and he had to figure out how to get it back over so he could get to the site. Is that it?
Why 4.7? What about the other 0.3?
I never rate anything a 5.0 or a 10 or 100% because there's no such thing as a perfect book or perfect something or anything. But it was a good book. I mean, there's probably some better books out there. I haven't read many books personally, but I don't know. That's why I rated it that.
I have a two-part question. Did you feel in the beginning of the book there was a lot of science that may have, if you weren't a science person, it would get a little dry or boring or over your head, perhaps?
Yeah, there were parts in the middle that were a little like that I actually had to sort of skim through and sort of skip because it was talking about like chemical reactions and if you do this bond, it sort of makes sense. But you sort of get the idea of what he is doing though, for overall. But yeah, it was sometimes science stuff did go over your head.
And what did you think about, not the science language, but the overall language, because there's a lot of foul language?
Yeah, there is foul language in it. I thought that made it sort of funny, the way they use it. Like, the first sentence already has a cuss word.
Right.
But overall, the language, he keeps it to sort of minimum, but he uses it whenever he needs to. He's supposed to be funny, and he's surviving on Mars, and this is his entry log. So I feel like if there wasn't that, then it just wouldn't really bring out like his emotions fully.
Yes. I know in the movie you didn't really get to see as much from the crew members that left.
Yeah.
Did you get to see more of them in the book?
They talked about them maybe a little more, but not really. The main things that were happening on was Mark Watney and NASA, and it was how they got to get communicated, how they're gonna figure out a way to get him home.
Was it from the point of him writing it down or him like talking to himself?
There's sort of twice, like, so him writing it down, there was a log that in the movie you could see that he's talking to a camera, and it has like everything that he said, and it's not really him writing down, it's more like him looking to a camera explaining what's going on, and then they switch over to NASA, which that's the point of view of just everyone discussing about what's going on, and then they sometimes, whenever they do get in contact, they send messages, and then you could see those.